Welcome to Airmythoughts, Tiri kungo taura, nyaya, which translates to we are just talking or we are just having a conversation. So today's thought and topic is about my fasting journey. So I think I said this in a previous audio. I'd been talking to my mom about how I'd not fasted in a long time, and I was like, oh my god, can I even remember what it is to fast? And then I bumped into a really close friend, and she told me that she'd done, I think it's at the Esther fast, but she'd been fasting for quite some time last year. So she would consult spirits, and spirits would tell her how many days she should fast for. So she had just completed a 3-day fast. And this got me thinking, and I'd been contemplating fasting, and I was like, well, I'm not really sure how many days I want to do, but after speaking to her, I was like, okay, so this is a sign that I needed to figure out how many days to do. And it was a dry fast that she'd done. So among the videos I'd shared in the previous audio, the one about was it joy and laughter or faith? I think it was faith, because I shared some videos from another content creator in the description. But yeah, so I felt called to then fast because I had reasons as to why I wanted to fast. One, it was to strengthen my intuition and my connection with my creator, my source, my higher self, because I've always found that fasting has always been really, really powerful for me. Having grown up in a household where we were raised as Roman Catholics, but also being involved in I called it my post-study in the previous video, my post-study churches. Whenever you wanted something, whether it was like a revelation or you were praying for something specific, fasting was always something that we did. But with these fasts, it was more like water fasts, rather than just like a complete dry fast that I'm doing now, where I've not consumed any liquid or food since Sunday evening, around 11 p.m. Sunday. But yeah, I wanted to be able to listen to my creator's guidance more clearly and understand where it's coming from, but also as a way of having spiritual growth. And so day one of fasting, oh my god, let me get my phone. I wrote in my notes app my experiences and what I went through, because even now I can see my energy is so much more grounded because I'm trying to conserve as much energy as I can. But I'll just explain without me getting into too many details about what other things I wanted as a result of fasting. Mainly, like I know they say, keep that conversation with your creator and the reasons why. So I shall do that. But yeah, I had moments of feeling like, is this worth it? Like, why am I doing this? Should I really be doing this journey? I also had questions or moments of questioning my entrepreneurship journey and my journey as a creative. And I kept thinking about that big break that we're always waiting for as creatives or as artists, where we always have these little, I don't say small wins, because my wins have not been small at all. They've not been small. I've had big wins. I have. But the aim is just to be financially free. I think whatever we all do in this society, we aim to be financially free. And it's been really emotional, and wanting to stay disciplined, because that's something I've always been very proud of about myself, is being able to be disciplined to a point where it can be very, very strict. And I do thank my upbringing, but as well as my life experiences, being an athlete, and just my spirit as well. I know I tap into the whole Sagittarius, but also that that's also something in the culture that I was raised in, being Zimbabwean, being disciplined. And I think the environment I was in the family I was in, because just because I'm a Sagittarius or just because I'm Zimbabwean doesn't necessarily mean that that is a group a group thing. Doesn't necessarily mean that if you meet someone that has those similarities that they're going to be that way. But yeah, I noticed that I ended up also taking action and like praying around the clock. At first, I really like struggled, especially day one. Like sleeping was quite difficult. Like I struggled to sleep. I think my mom was like making food around like 8 p.m. And like I was like, oh my God, that smells really amazing. But I didn't feel tempted. That's the thing I found about like day one. I didn't feel tempted to want to eat anything. I don't think I felt tempted to eat anything to a point where I'm like salivating over food. It's been more me questioning my journey and the reasons for why I'm fasting. I'm now on day 2, and like today was a struggle as well, like especially like during the day. Being able to do the things that I need to do, like my tasks. I don't want to sit here and lie to anyone. I found it hard. I had activities I needed to do in my timetable, and I literally must have done like 3 sentences of the work I needed to do. And I was like, damn, like I'm exhausted. And then I was like, oh, there's a show that I want to, like, I'm manifesting being on, maybe I should watch that. That doesn't really help either. And then I must have then turned to like researching other people that have done a dry fast, and I thought to myself, maybe there's a reason why I've not seen people's videos or come across people's videos that have done the dry fast, or maybe have given me the revelations that I was looking for. Because I think something I've wanted to kind of accept is like, maybe I won't get like a massive, no, I'm not going to say this. No, I'm not going to put that out there. I have been receiving revelations, and revelations come in different ways and forms. Um, but I have seen like little breakthroughs like during the day, like during these past 2 days. But I found like today, like I really wanted to cry today, because I got up in the morning and I was kind of feeling like heartburn like symptoms. And I can feel my stomach, like, like when it like kind of like tightens. Um, so I can see that my body is definitely working in overdrive. But I haven't yet felt the, like the headache. It's just tiredness, especially around like the afternoon times, evening times. Today is just, it's just that type of like, oh, fatigue where I want to focus. And I must have then come across, I am an athlete, with Kevin Gates talking about, Mr. Kevin Gates, and like the other people on the panel talking about their experiences and their understandings of fasting. And I was reading some people on Quora, their experiences, and like one of them really resonated, where he was like, you know, meditating and praying. And I thought, yeah, that's really what I should be doing. Because day one, I was listening to a lot of like back to back, like prayers and affirmations, back to back. And then when I listened to the podcast with Mr. Kevin Gates, that really helped, because I was like, okay, that's what it is. Rather than entertaining these thoughts, let me just like go back to what is being said, and just like, it should be a time where I'm really like fasting, not only from food, but fasting from even specific content, and yeah, specific habits, because it's shown a light on like what I do on a day, and like how much time is used thinking about food and like eating food. And I just ended up like doing a little bit of like a prayer, like asking for strength, and tapping into that spiritual side. Because for me, like my spirituality is very it's something I really prioritize. It's like, when you think about the things that someone sees as a priority or very important to them, that definitely is on the top of the list. Excuse me. One of the things I was really asking for was to be able to be given the strength for tomorrow, because I have some appointments to attend to and like obligations to attend to, and not wanting to disappoint as a result of that. But yeah, like I found that fasting really is just like going back to that, is about like not just food and water, it's the environments, the conversations and the habits that we engage in, or that I engage in. Because when I've been like this, I really tend to not want to engage in things that are detrimental to the soul. So like whether it's like gossiping or watching content that is, for lack of a better term, low vibrational. It's not really like life affirming, or like music that's not life affirming. And like one of the things I really wanted to do, and why I was encouraged to do this fast, was I wanted to be able to go back to seeing from the spirit rather than the physical, like being able to what's the word, being able to abstain from food and water to like operate from spirit rather than the flesh, so not feeding the flesh. I mean, I've done it before where was it in 2021 or 2022, I did like a 2 year like celibacy, so like it was like no masturbating and like no sex, like, and that had its powers as well. I saw the benefits of that and like how a lot of things did change in my life for the better. And like I feel like with fasting, it's not only like a soul cleanse, but it gives you like spiritual clarity, self-control, answered prayers. And I know some people use it to lose weight, but I found that praying when I'm feeling really weak has helped like give me that energy and that strength to like not quit and like give in. And I know, like, again, you're supposed to keep it to yourself, but I thought sharing my journey can help someone else, especially somebody that is like going back about whether they should fast. I mean, I am not like obviously a medical profession, so I think before you do fast, you've got to do your research, like anybody else, and find out whether you're able to do it. Because I think in the past when I've done these fasts, I normally do like a 7 day fast, or even if it's like a longer, I'll always have water or tea, because then that can keep me going, especially when I know I've got to be out and about. And right now, like today's day 2 and I started my cycle, and I know it's not recommended to fast when you start your cycle, but I just thought, let me challenge myself. Obviously, if I get to a point where I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this, I definitely will break the fast. But I wouldn't break the fast by like indulging in food. I probably would break the fast with like at least lemon water as a basis, and then allowing that to digest for like at least a minimum of like an hour or two, and then have some dates. And then I was thinking about having like something like a Lebanese meal. My friend took me to a cafe where we had some Lebanese food. I think, let me see if I can get what it was. I think I would make that. I'd have that to break fast, because it's very light. And it was we had lebne, but I wouldn't have that. I think I'll make like a soy based lebne, a dairy free lebne, and then I'd have some za'atar with olive oil and some flatbread. And the za'atar is the spices. I think it's made up of like sumac, toasted sesame seeds, is it dried oregano? There might be other spices I've missed, and then some baba ganoush and some makdous. So it's really light. So I think I'll break my fast with that. Um, and yeah, but my fast should end on Thursday. So it was just a matter of like challenging myself and seeing what I can do, because I think it's amazing to see what our bodies are capable of doing. And it reminds me of like reading A Man's Search for Meaning by Dr. Viktor Frankl, and how he said a lot about how like textbooks lie, because you know he was in a horrific space, where he was in the concentration camp, and a lot of the things that took place there that he was taught about the human body, or what we're taught about the human body, was not fact at all. And seeing how people survived past the dates that they claim, we would die if we were not to eat any food or drink any water. Not that I'm saying that that's the basis of doing anything. A lot of research is important, and understanding your own journey, medically but also physically. But yeah, I just thought I would share that part of my journey. And I've also noticed I've not really peed a lot. I know that when you do fast, your body starts to use the fat reserves. And I do know that's how it also regenerates water to circulate within your body to keep you hydrated. And I think that's probably why, because I've not felt thirsty. That's the thing, I've not felt thirsty. But I also think it's because I'm indoors. Tomorrow will be a different situation, so we'll see. Depending on the topic or the thought that comes to mind tomorrow, I will definitely maybe in the intro include how my day 3 is going, and then I'll do that the next day also. But I think it's been really interesting to see how it's literally like, it feels like a war. Because my flesh and my spirit are going back to back. They're going back to back because my body's like, I want to quit. Not because of I need food, but I want to quit. And it's more my mind rather than my body. My mind is like, what are we doing this for? Like, what's the point? Like, you know, the hard the hard work of like being an entrepreneur and like believing and seeing things that are not yet fixed within this reality, and being like innovative in our thoughts, and then thinking about how, I live in the UK where they don't value innovation. You know, they claim they want innovation. They claim they want people to bring these new ideas, but they shut them down. And having conversations with people that are experiencing this as well as innovators and as leaders, in comparison to other countries or other spaces where they talk about it and they actually be about it, because you know they're not necessarily stuck in their ways. So yeah, so like a lot of, because of these experiences, I was like, let me fast, let me get some clarity, because sometimes a lot of our doubts might not necessarily be our own, but maybe coming from projections. And you know, when you are a creator, as an entrepreneur as well, it's finding the gaps within the market. So you're always going to be ahead of your time. You're always going to be saying things that the rest of the population find crazy but will benefit from in the near future or the latter future. But yeah. But yeah, that's my journey. If you fasted before, have done a dry fast, please do share your experiences and let me know. As you can tell, my energy is like so grounded and like so monotone, it feels almost, but I feel good in the sense that I'm doing this and like allowing myself to explore what I'm capable of doing and challenging myself. But yes, welcome to My Thoughts. Tiri kungo, taura, nyaya. We are just talking, or we are just having a conversation. That's what we are doing at the end of the day.